Hey guys, SoCal Val here for another episode of Velvet Ropes with SoCal Val on Wrestling News Co. Now, my guest is a returning legendary guest, Lisa Marie Varon, but this is a special episode. We wanted to talk about the current events in professional wrestling, do a little recap, if you will, and Lisa has her pulse on everything pro wrestling, so who better than Lisa Marie Varon? Hi, buddy.
Oh, I love you, Val. I love you. I just feel like we're just going back to God TV, and it's just amazing. I got a lot of compliments on our last interview we did together. It's just a good banter. People feel like they're a fly on the wall just listening to us talk.
Yeah, that's what we want. That's what we want. You know, with this interview show, there's so many podcasts out there and interview shows. You know, this one we're going to kind of focus on what's going on in wrestling right now, and you guys can weigh in. If you're watching on YouTube, which hopefully you're subscribed, by the way, comment below and tell us what you'd like to discuss in the next episode. But before we get to that, obviously you have a lot going on, but let's get the Lisa news first. The nitty gritty. What have you been up to? What can we look forward to? I do know that we need to discuss your video game involvement. This deserves a round of applause.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I have not watched the video of my entrance because I want to get my reaction. Every time I repost it, I'll just put my link on there because I'm doing a live Twitch on Sunday.
Yeah.
Playing my character, Mickey D from Australia. Big shout out to him. He's helping me walk through it, and he's setting me up for it and teaching me how to play the game because I'm an Atari girl. I do not know what I'm doing. But they dropped it on, what was yesterday? Monday. They dropped it on Monday. And so I'm so excited about that. That's huge for me. Huge.
It's huge.
A knee brace. Everything is so accurate on there. It's kind of, I got scared. I was like, okay, how accurate? Because they got my facial expressions. I had to do still shots, my facial expressions. I'm like, I used to look way younger. So please do a little nip and tuck a little bit stuff, you know? But
Give it a little shush, will you, WWE?
there's a little zhuzh, a little more makeup, a little bit,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna be doing a whatnot on Monday, on my live auction. Tuesday I do Zoom chats. Yeah. So busy week. And then next week, oh my God, Dayton, Ohio, Sports Fest. I'll be doing an appearance with Kendall, who made my bling bling glass and my hat. I'm not plugging him in to get in business. He just does this for friends. And so he is amazing.
Cheers
Yeah.
to Kendall. And I was going to ask, we have to ask on behalf of God TV, which, by the way, if you're on YouTube, go and see our God TV episodes, recaps, Grown Ass Women TV with Lisa, Mickey James, and I. We used to love discussing what we're drinking, what we're wearing. So quick shout out to Audacity Bling for this amazing SoCal Val cup. Obviously, Lisa, we love Kendall. He's been such a great supporter of yours. But speaking of fans and the interaction you have with fans, you're talking about Whatnot. You're talking about Twitch. You're talking about live appearances. You do such an amazing job, and I love to watch you at Comic Cons, and you're so engaging. But not only that, if someone can't make it to a Comic Con, you have fans all over the world. If they can't make it to a Comic Con to see you in person, even though you're active on the Comic Con circuit, you do a lot to really help the fans feel seen and feel like they can chat with you in an interactive way online, right?
Yes, and most of my best friends started off as fans. Adam, Kendall, Michael, Pam, Alex, and like I have such hardcore and Molly, like from England. It's amazing what COVID did. Like we're now are tech savvy, where you can do a meet and greet on camera. And you know me, I go way out, so I'm wearing my, some my gear and stuff like that.
Yay!
Yes, and big shout out to Audacity Bling. She made me a cup as well. I have it. It's in my cupboard right now. Actually, I drank out of it yesterday, so it's in the sink right now. But you got to hand wash those blingies, and
You. When it's
honestly,
this intricate. Yeah.
and then Mickey D too. Like like all of our good friends,
Mhm.
Toni, like were fans at first, and those are our closest friends now.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've gotten so close, like over the years, the best thing I think to come out of God TV, which by the way, people always ask, like, where is it? Where is it? We have such crazy schedules. We love doing it, but it's nice we can kind of reconvene here and still, talk to our fans and talk to them about what's going on with wrestling. Because that's what we want to talk about today. Like, there's so much to discuss, and we're trying to do this like in a very concise way because here's the problem. There's so much, it's a great problem to have, right? Like champagne problems. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan, but you can get so overconsumed by wrestling, right? There's AEW, there's WWE, there's TNA, there's, I watch a lot of UK promotions here where I live in England, for those that don't know. There's so much going on, but we're going to kind of talk about a few topics that are really, really hot right now. And so to start, I think we have to start with the story that has the entire wrestling world buzzing. We're talking about AJ Lee, who's returned to WWE, and the state of women's wrestling has been shaken up due to this. It was such an exciting moment. But Lisa, what was your initial reaction to seeing AJ Lee walk out on SmackDown? And does it feel like she's returning to a completely different world of wrestling from when she was here before?
I think every time we go back, it's returning to a new generation. It changes so fast, wrestling does, but I'm not surprised. CM Punk, and it's a good way for the husband and wife to spend more time on the road because he's probably got a lot doing appearances and stuff like that. I'm not shocked. I'm never shocked when someone years ago comes back. God bless Trish, but and I think there was a lot of hatred because she got the main event status, but you know what? This is storyline.
Yeah.
It's not her going, "I demand to be main event." It's the storyline. This is gonna get people intrigued and stay tuned till the last match. And so, there's people should not hate and stuff like that, but, and you and I talked about it. She looks 12. She looks
She's
like
so young. She looks the exact sa it's like she's the Benjamin Button of wrestling, like, she looks like she was just here yesterday, it's crazy.
seriously.
Whatever serum that girl is using, girl, AJ Lee, come let us know, babe.
Maybe her moving to Chicago, I don't know. I would like to get her doctor's number, but,
Skincare by AJ Lee, coming soon.
and I do like the fact that they both wore matching shirts and, promoting product and merch because, you and I, we're hustlers. We sell everything. Everything's for sale,
Yeah.
and, you know what I mean? And it's, I thought it was refreshing. It I think that, like, there's only so many spots for women to be on TV, so I think, like, people are like, "Oh, man, I wanted a match tonight," but, I went through that all the time, you know what I mean? Do we get upset? No. We get a little like, "Oh," we get a little boo-boo, a little butt hurt, but, it's not personal, it's storyline, man. It's a show, you guys are gotta remember that, and, it's not a place for hatred, honestly.
No,
It escapes from your own drama and your own life, you know? Like a soap
but
opera, you can get involved with, right, Val?
exactly, exactly, and, it's interesting that you use the word refreshing because I think that's kinda who she is as a character, like, you have your very serious characters and you have some sort of like levity when it comes to AJ Lee, and she's her bubbly, refreshing self skipping to the ring. Like that's I think we need more of that. I think she made us feel the nostalgic vibes, but it's also like levity, and then they were so happy to see each other. I loved that. But as you mentioned in the main event, they put her directly into a main event, mixed tag, which is taking place at Wrestlepalooza on Saturday, September 20th. Which, by the way, guys, as you're here and you've already liked and subscribed to Wrestling News Co., I hope we will be covering that see, I wanna say pay-per-view, it's a PLE. Thank you for the little yep, ring that bell. That PLE is gonna be on Saturday, September 20th, and it's going to be covered by Wrestling News Co. and myself, and AJ returning, she'll be grappling alongside her husband, CM Punk, against Seth freaking Rollins and Becky Lynch, another huge power couple who I love. And as a future Hall of Famer, Lisa, yeah, I said it. You're welcome, Hunter. You listening to me? I'm sure he's watching this. Hunter, my favorite, my Mount Rushmore
Yeah.
Triple H.
Val has a crush on Hunter. Yes.
My favorite. Who's your favorite wrestler?
Who's your
Triple H.
goddess? Your goddess is,
My personal Jesus, Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie, hey, Steph. I can't call her Steph. It's like that just seems sacrilegious.
yeah, yeah.
They're both listening to this future Hall of Famer Lisa here. But just a question for you, because your expertise. I'd love to know what you think of that booking, putting her in that main event. She and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, who have kind of made this a power couple versus power couple match. I personally can't wait to see it.
It's like Maurice and Miss, it's just, back in our day, we were not allowed to date each other, because might affect future, feelings and like, oh my God, that kind of,
Yeah.
you gotta separate work and relationships. And I think it's now, I think it's great that WWE and all they're embracing relationships because it's going to happen. We spend more time on the road than with our own families, and you create bonds and all that kind of stuff. And it's nothing negative about the business. I'm sure entertainers, musicians, actors go through this, like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, they did a movie that look at that chemistry, you know what I mean? You can tell. But I think it's refreshing a husband and wife on the main event. That would have never happened back in my day. Um, I don't think so. But it's new, it's exciting, and you know, uh, I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. Yeah, but it just bothers me that she looks like a 12-year-old wrestling and stuff like that. And yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she certainly has her own unique look, and so does CM Punk. And weirdly, like even before they got to, I don't know when they got together, but they kind of mirror each other in that way. They kind of have like a personal, casual likability for the fans. And I think because some people like, okay, it's actually the complete antithesis of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, where they have these like insane outfits. By the way, shout out to Jolene, who makes a lot of Becky's gear. It is the best. I'll always text her when I'm at Mania. I'm like, did you make this? Amazing.
Yeah,
Because they have,
made my role plays fit. She made it in a
yeah,
day. I just have yeah, but
by Jolene. Yeah.
oh yeah, seriously.
But they have that kinda crazy aesthetic that's like an untouchable, extra, extra, extra look, and then you have more of the relatable, casual CM Punk and AJ Lee. I think that juxtaposition of both couples will be really exciting, but to see them go head to head will be amazing on Wrestlepalooza, again, Saturday, September 20th. Catch the show, but also catch the after show with yours truly here on Wrestling News Co. But speaking of current events and women's wrestling, for example, I'd love to get your sage advice and your candid thoughts, if you would indulge us, about what you think of the new crop of women like Roxanne Perez and Lyra Valkyria getting the spotlight, because there's so many great newcomers. Also, TNA and AEW have some amazing people as well. What do you think about this new crop of girls? Totally candid thoughts. Go.
I it, it's it is hard to be unique in this business. Like, has this been done before and stick out? That's the hard part. Is like, how can I make myself a little bit different? You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think it was maybe easy for me because everybody knows I was a psycho. Not psycho. I'm just very I'm an extrovert, but now I'm introvert extrovert. But I'm just my feelings on my face. And I just think it's refreshing getting all these new and all these different platforms and AAA going under WWE's umbrella. Like, look at all these platforms we did not have back in the day. Um, I'm 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 sounding like we were like years and years and years ago, but
Yeah.
it was yesterday. It was years or years ago, but all these platforms are giving other people a chance to make it and not just do the indie scene and then pay for your own gas and then your paycheck is your gas money. So it's just and there's also a different flavor for every single wrestling fan. People like AEW, some people like AAA, some people like WWE, some people like NXT. And there's a flavor for everything. I'm not used to it because it's all over the place for me. And I'm trained very old school, like William Regal, not so much extreme because I don't like the blood. You and I, Val, we don't like blood. I don't like, even though I was the queen of hardcore matches and stuff like that. Um, blood is not my forte.
We're a bit squeamish for that. There's nothing wrong with that. Like you said, if you don't like it, you can watch something else. But the hardcore stuff, I think you and I agree, it's a little
No,
squeamish for both of us.
it's not wrestling. It's not technique in wrestling for me.
Right.
See someone hit something, someone with, you can see that on the streets. You know what I mean? There's a gift when someone can have a normal grappling match like Natty, and tell a story, without having to do all that crazy crap. Like you feel like you're putting your life on the line just to get the fans to stand up on your feet, but you
Yeah.
can tell a great psychological story in a simple match. Simple match. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, this is off topic because you mentioned Natty. How much do we love Natty? Like I always say to people, they'll say this on Twitter a lot for some reason, or X, pardon me. They'll be like, "Who's the nicest person in wrestling?" Obviously, you and Mickey come to mind, but I go, Natty has the most stellar reputation. Like she used to come to FIP when it was like Claudio Castagnoli, me, Roderick, like people like that, and I'd be like, "What are you doing here?" And she'd go, "I'm just here to support." And like she was still Natty Neidhart. I'm like, "Wow, she is the most amazing, talented, beautiful, sweet, respected girl. Her reputation is stellar for so many and by the way, the girl can dress. Her fashion, So
And her designing in her home and stuff like that. That girl, I think I'm glad she's still in the locker room because she's a good role model to follow. How she is, I don't think she's bigger than the business. She is very humble. Um, she talks to every fan. I think she's like us. We become best friends with our fans. You know, like Leonard is a huge natty.
we love Leonard. Yeah.
Leonard, I love you, Leonard. But she doesn't let it get to her head. You know what I mean? And she has every reason to let it get to her head because she's so awesome and spectacular in her wrestling skills, her promos and all that kind of stuff, but she does not let it get to her head.
It's
And that
so
was
true.
when everybody should be very humble, always willing to learn more and more and more about your character in the ring. You're not better than everybody else.
Right. So well said. And again, shout out to Natty. We got to have her on the show because she ticks every box. She's the complete package. But speaking of amazing women in wrestling, and you did mention AEW, so I have to start the conversation by saying this. So Tony Storm is so hot right now for so many reasons. She's always been amazing, but right, I feel like she's really, I don't want to say in her prime because she's young. She has so many years ahead of her, but she recently did an interview where she called herself an AEW lifer. And she said she has no intention of ever going back to WWE because she doesn't, quote, fit in with their whole shtick, right? And we've both seen many wrestlers say never. You know, even AJ Lee before she came back to WWE, she said never say never, and there you go. But what do you make of Tony's comments that she's an AEW lifer, won't go back to WWE? Do you think it's a smart move for her in today's landscape, or is it just part of the character? How do you think she answered that truthfully, or was it more like Tony Storm, the character, is answering?
First of all, I love Toni Storm. I love her look. Marilyn Monroe. I just Val, I know you love that
Oh my
look.
god. It's about time somebody did that correctly.
Super sweet. When you see her at a meet and greet, very thankful and yeah, I love her. But you never bury a company. Um, you know, we all learn this, saying that maybe that's not the place for me, but every company changes every year. You never know when you're gonna go back or when they're gonna demand Tony Storm to make a comeback to WWE. But you know, I, you know, it's hard. You don't wanna bash any company, and I've learned that lesson. I've done that before, and
Sure.
shame with me, but I think you get very, like, in your head going, "I need to say what I'm feeling right now,"
Yeah.
but social media is not the platform to go, if I'm angry at a moment, you know what? Let me think about it tomorrow if I feel the same way. You know,
Yeah.
because, social media is so easy to go on a rant, and you're gonna go the next day, "I shouldn't have said that."
Yeah,
If
it's like, what is that phrase? Say it, forget it, write it, or say it, forget it, write it, regret it. Because it's like, if you do a tweet, people can that tweet will live forever.
Yeah,
Even
you cannot even though you delete a freaking post, it's there forever, you know what I mean? And we all gotta be, myself included, gotta be conscious about, like, what we say, and, thank God, like, you and I know, like, we're very positive people, you know what I mean? And, we don't let the hatred get to us, even though we're really sensitive, but I'm not gonna respond to someone that doesn't like me or, like, doesn't believe what, you know in me, you know what I
yeah,
mean? So, yeah, 'cause I got canceled on a October 19th show, and, it was on Twitter, and a friend of mine, called me and said, "Hey, I just wanna see if you're okay." I go, "Oh, no, my back feels fine. It's fine. My back," and she goes, "No, about Twitter," and I go, "I it's impossible for us to read every comment or"
sure.
yeah, all that kinda stuff, you know what I mean? There's so many platforms, right? And I was like, "What?" And then she goes, "Oh, they canceled you for a certain reason," and I was like, "What?" And I never experienced this is just recent too, experienced so much hate, and we gotta rise above, I never commented. I did let WWE know about the situation 'cause, just, don't reply back on this, it's their loss, you're a good person, that kinda thing, and
Everybody knows that.
it was I was struggling so hard not to say anything, but I'm the better person. I should not care about what somebody else thinks of me. They don't know me then, you
Right.
know? They don't know me.
Your reputation speaks for itself, though, Lisa. As I said about Natty, I'd put in the same character, the same category. That your character is so respected in wrestling, and everyone knows your intentions are always pure. So, and it's we are living in a cancel culture. This is what's getting out of hand, and for every person that maybe should be canceled, there are 20 that it's misconstrued. So it's a very we're living in, like, a social media landmine a landfill, you know what I mean? So it's hard to navigate that.
It's kinda scary. It is scary, you know what I mean? It's just too much, loose lips on the social media, you know what I mean? And,
Sure.
it's just would that person go out in the street and promote, say stuff like this? Probably not,
Right.
but the safety behind the screen,
Right,
right?
they call it that armchair quarterback. Yeah, people can be really big and bad when they're, this is why all these accounts that I follow are now
Armchair quarterback.
armchair quarterback's great, right? It's like nowadays people are, especially on Instagram, I find it so funny that all these girls, these models, I follow a lot of models and, influencer types, and they're now kind of dragging everybody that like they're posting what mean comments are being said, and it's like, this is the guy who said it. It's this guy that's like, oh, she's not a 10, or oh, she could lose some weight. And it's these guys, and it's like, you have a mother and a wife and a daughter. Like, would you talk like that about them?
It reflects your whole family. I just
Yeah.
watched a documentary, his name was Will. He was a beautiful, he started when he was 19, and he started doing Zoom chat, lip syncing,
Uh-huh.
old and he's huge with the Cougars, but, he got in that dark place when he started bad mouthing some of the people on there, and we are people pleasers, but you can't please everyone, right? I gotta find that show. It was very eye-opening. This poor guy, they were stalking him, but he also had his location on. People like he would go at a restaurant and go, "Hey, I'm at this restaurant," but some cougar would pay for his meal.
Oh my.
"Mark, is it Mark? Yeah. Oh, I want this. Oh, I saw these cool tennies." Like, you know what I mean? But he went, social media could be very positive and a great place, but it also could have a dark side of it where you let it get to you,
It's
you know?
it's so true.
Yeah.
But going back to AEW, so of course we were talking about Toni Storm, and she's again so hot right now, much deserved success. But I'd love to get your thoughts on AEW overall, your thoughts on the product. I know that you recently attended an AEW show live. What was it like to actually watch All Elite Wrestling in person?
Okay, so they were in San Diego, and, Sarah Stock, who was Sarita in TNA, she goes, "Hey, we're in town. Do you wanna come to the show?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I would love to." She goes, "By the way, do you have clothes I can borrow?" I go, "I don't have gear left." She goes, "Oh, no, I mean business cas."
Oh, how funny.
"Business cat me? Business cas? Sporty Spice? I don't have business." I go, "Oh my gosh," but I went to the show with David, my better half, and, we were in the audience, we're on the second tier. I remember texting Justin Roberts and saying, "Hey, look over your shoulder. I'm up on the second tier." And he goes, "Who got you those tickets?" He goes, "You're way up in the nosebleeds." And I go, "Yeah, that's okay." I go, I wore a black. I don't go out there to go stick out and get the attention.
Yeah.
I'm there. Yeah.
I always text Justin too. I'm like, "Hey, cool suit." And he's like, "Where are you, Val?" I'm like, "Hello."
And I wear ponytail. I black hat. I wear all black, so I'm not there to take the spotlight off of the show onto me. And I remember like watching it, and David kept on asking me, "Who's the good guy and who's the bad guy?" I go, "I'll explain later. We're sitting with fans. I mean, like, well, I used to be over because someone asked me, like, "Is this your first wrestling show?" Because I was popping on every move because they were so dangerous. Like the first match, taking a pile driver on the apron, like on the first match, we weren't allowed to do stuff. We were not allowed to go out to the onto the floor, let
Yeah.
the match build, 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 build more like extreme. And I go, I'll explain later. And I had to tell him, I go, "You're not supposed to ask me who's the bad guy and who's the good guy. You're supposed to be able to tell by the
Yeah.
first 10 to 20 seconds of the match." And so he was like, he's didn't grow up watching wrestling. So he's coming in as a fresh watcher, right? So I think wrestling, like, needs to appease newcomers because I had to explain everything to David, and I go, "Later, later. I don't want people like," I go, "Just clap when everybody claps and, just, boo when everybody else is booing." And, the guy next to me goes, "This is your first time to match?" And the guy behind me recognized me. He goes, "That's Victoria from WWE." And he goes, "How are you reacting like this?" You know how I fangirl out though when I see a live.
We love it, yeah. But it makes you fall back in love with wrestling, and that's, a testament to WWE and to AEW and TNA that when you go, and we have seen everything at this point, let's be honest, especially you, when you go, and you have those feelings. Like, I had so much fun. By the way, shout out to Wrestle Tours who had us for WrestleMania. When
Yes,
you were there watching alongside the fans, that's the best part about Wrestle Tours. You're watching with the fans. You felt all the emotions that they felt. We were standing up and cheering and having a great time. And that's a testament to the experience that WWE, AEW puts on because even jaded old broads like us can have a great time.
exactly. And I think it shows like the testament of like we still have passion for what we do. We're not jaded. I'd like to be involved. Like that's why I say to husbands, I go, "Oh, your wife's not a fan. Take her to a live event. It'll change her world. Even non televised. It doesn't matter. Just take her to a live event and how fans are getting into it and stuff like that." And you and I, we were you were crying on Cody Rhodes. You know,
My loves with that baby. I love him. Yeah.
yeah, it's nice to get involved and be into it. And that's why, like, when I went to AEW, I'm not there to stick out. I want to watch it. And she goes, I went back to go say hi. It's just weird, like when you like go backstage when you're not working for the company anymore, and they're like, "Oh, is she trying to get a job?" No, I just came to watch and support the product, right? And then I just say hi
Yeah.
to a couple people, and she and Sarah goes, "Are you staying for the second show?" I go, "Second show?" I go, "Girl, I'm in my 50s. This is way past my bedtime. I cannot stay for the second show. I'm so sorry.
It's a lot of
Lo
wrestling.
it's a law like, that's why WrestleMania being 2 nights in a row, I can't make it.
It's a lot, bro. It's a
Like,
lot of wrestling.
it just oh,
Lisa, and how tired are we after WrestleMania weekend? It's like, I need a week.
we get signings all day and talking about wrestling, and then to go to a wrestling show, and there's still people are gonna ask you about wrestling, and you're, like, going, "I don't know how much
I've
wrestling."
wrestled a boy, I love wrestling. Well, wrestling, man, that's a lot.
Is wringing out the rag, there's nothing left, you know? Yeah, 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 and you don't and we don't and we're not rude, but we're just like, we just kinda there's a time to shut down a little bit and save your energy for the next day.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, and you guys, if you've not met Lisa in person, again, you can do so many interactive things, Twitch, whatnot. Look, well, of course, we're gonna share all of your links, but if you haven't met Lisa in person, when you do, it's so much fun because you're always on and you're always so genuine. But as you said, it does get to be a lot. But I will say, so I can mention AEW and a big shout out and thank you to AEW because I went here in London just a few weeks ago for their show at the O2, and it was amazing. They put on such a great show, and thanks to Wrestling News Crew, that had me go there as I'd never really been as like a journalist portion of the, I was that
Okay.
tickets fun. And I went to the press conference. I'd never been to a press conference.
I
And I
haven't
didn't
either.
know what to expect. It was wild. So first of all, just because we're amongst friends here, everyone on YouTube will appreciate the fact that you and I will mark out for this. Half or most of the crew, Lisa, I didn't even told you this. They're all TNA people. So, like, the boom operator, the cameraman, the audio guy, they're like, "Val, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Am I 23 years old at the soundstage?" It's all of our people that you love.
I mean, that's when I went back to WWE and AEW, like, and TNA. All the boom, the sound guys, the lighting, the
Yeah,
camera are still freaking there.
it's wild.
And it's just like, oh my it's going back, like exactly, like, you feel like I
But
haven't
we
left.
love them. Yeah, these are, like, people that I grew up around, like, so I feel like AEW, again, getting off topic, but I have to mention this. AEW kind of got most of our crew. I was in TNA for, like, 9 years. They got a lot of our crew, and then when WWE came here years ago after I just moved to England, AJ, Mr. Styles, I remember he took me backstage and he's like, "I'm gonna do my AJ impression. Val, we're all here. We got Petey in the back. We got Bobby. We're all here, Val. What the hell?" And I was he didn't curse because he doesn't, but it was like they got a lot of the wrestlers, like they got Abyss and Crabis and Petey Williams and Bobby, and then AEW was all of our crew. So that aside, that was the funniest part to me because I was like, "Where am I? What year is it?" Hilarious, right? But I have to say, and I'll be totally transparent, I had no idea going into this press conference how Tony Khan would be. I've never worked with Tony Khan. I've never met him. I've heard stories. I don't know anything about him personally. It's kind of, I haven't been in AEW and I had no idea how he would be. I'll be honest, you hear mixed reviews because people, you just hear from random people how he is and he's this, he's that. I don't know the man from Adam, right? And I can say now, after going to this press conference, I have the utmost respect and admiration now for Tony Khan. The way he spoke to the wrestling media crew that was there, like the journalists, he was just beyond
Like,
kind, Honestly, like, and genuinely so kind, so respectful, magnanimous. He took every question that was just brought to him, and he took every question from each journalist and, like, individually, like, knew them by name. He was so nice, and he made them everyone feel seen and heard, and by the way, this guy is like an encyclopedia on his own company history. Like, he recalled every detail and every date of which AEW wrestler was hired here and when, and which championship changed at which show on this date. I was blown away, and it was so refreshing to see an owner of this massive juggernaut of a company that is AEW be that immersed and that invested in his own product because it was just shocking.
I think it's really refreshing also as a fan running a company, knowing what the fans want, and I hear so many mixed reviews, a lot of bickering back and forth for WWE, AEW, and stuff like that. I don't get it. I think everybody should support each platform
Yeah.
and just, you know, it's come on, get over it. Like, everybody has their own, like, taste, right? And when I went to go I go, "Hey, Sarah, I'm gonna go say hi to, Tony Khan. I'm gonna go introduce myself." I go, "Hi, Tony. My name's Lisa. I used to be Victoria in WWE. I just wanna say Sarah got me tickets. I just wanna appreciate the invite that I got to watch the show." And he goes, "Oh, no, I know who you are." And I go, "Oh, okay. I just wanna introduce myself." And he was watching it on the monitor, and he was like really into it,
Sure.
like yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think there's there should be no division between companies.
No.
Honestly, you're a wrestling fan, freaking just embrace it. Who cares what wrestling show you watch? There's no you know,
Yeah.
hatred.
Great
You know what
to
I
be
mean?
a wrestling fan, but I think now that everyone's working together, even WWE and TNA, the synergy there is amazing. But honestly, again, kudos and thank you to Tony Khan because I wish him continued success and just see that, like, in person, how he treated everybody with such respect and how, like you said, he got excited about wrestling. It kind of, like, gave me, like, a nostalgic boost of, like, I love wrestling too. It was so cool. So, I felt really rejuvenated as a wrestling fan to see him, like, take such ownership. A lot of the owners, you don't see them or they don't care. This guy knew every detail. It was really, really cool. But
That's
yeah,
refreshing. Yes. We
was
like
so
the excitement with the agents or your bosses really excited for you. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And
I love to see that.
it gives you a lot of, a pat on the back, and that's what Triple H did too. He's a fan of it, and he knows the business in and out, right? And he'll go, "Yeah, that was great," and stuff, and you're like, "Oh, you watch my match?" It's I think everybody should be supportive,
Yeah,
honestly, that
when they're invested, they and listen, like, because people try to think like, "Oh, well," and I don't know Tony Khan. I was like, "Well, he's just kind of, the guy that owns it." No, 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 he's, like, in the nitty-gritty, and I've heard that about Triple H as well. I have to say, Dixie Carter was always really good with the fans as well and getting herself involved, and that was, like I just think as an owner or, as CEO, what have you, to get down to the nitty-gritty and get in there with the media scrum, as they call it, was just really refreshing to see. But if we can talk, for a second about, as much as we love the business, it's a very fickle thing, and there's a lot of releases, there's a lot of talent shuffles that happened, and I wanna talk about something recent. So it was really surprising recently to see the news about Andrade being gone from WWE. So with sort of a surprise release like that, what's the first thing that goes through your mind as a veteran of the business? Because it must be a reminder of how fickle the business can be and how quickly things can change just on a dime, right?
that happens so often that we're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it got released? What?" And there's also, there's a time of the year when they clean house and stuff
It's
like
so upsetting, I know, I hate looking at my phone after Mania, it's like they do like a cull.
and then sometimes they don't just they don't really tell you why they're releasing you. They just say, "Hey, we have nothing for you right now. There's nothing in this right or anything like that." And you leave, you know, what did I do wrong? And you feel bad about yourself, honestly. But we got to remember it's a freaking business. You know what I mean? And it's not like, hey, why am I not wrestling tonight? You can't take it personal.
Right.
You can't take it personal. So it's and you can't rely on all the stew sites, like gossip sites and stuff.
No.
Um, and there's um, you know, maybe it was his idea to leave. That's what I'm reading. Maybe they butt heads or something like that. And you know
Unless you
what?
know him, you're never gonna know, right? Like, people speculate, so unless you know him personally, you're not going I don't know him personally, I have no idea.
I don't either. I don't either. And I love Charlotte, so that's of course we all know our girls like who their husbands are and stuff like that. But you can't hate on somebody you don't know the backstory and you can't invent it unless you hear it straight from the horse's mouth, right? And
Yeah.
it just, it's a business, man. You can't go, oh, screw that company. They released this person. There's it's a business. It's a storyline, and God, they're so like all these companies are saturated with talent.
Yeah.
How do you utilize all of them? You can't. It's a
They're all on
freaking
your payroll. It's like maybe they have too many of a certain kind of character. You just don't know. And as you said, it's like if you speculate, it's actually kind of disrespectful because you're like, you don't know what that person went through. Maybe, like you said, maybe he had a say and that he wanted to leave and maybe he can come back. You just never know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I would say,
That like, honestly, I have no, like, input on that because I don't know the backstory,
yeah.
like, all of a sudden, we look on Instagram and we're like, "Oh, they got released." I don't look at the comments. I just like, "Oh, well, okay, maybe they're doing a new hire, they didn't have anything for them,"
Right.
and I don't read into it like, "Oh, what did he do?"
Mm.
I don't do that. It's just it's a freaking business transaction. Don't forget they have to keep budget, and yeah, you know how that goes.
It's so
Yeah.
true, and I will say, I recently not to drop a name, but boom, I just recently saw Kurt Angle here in the Comic Con. My friend Kurt, who won the 1996 Olympics with a broken freaking neck. No big deal, gold medal. No, so Kurt's one of my favorites. I saw him recently at Comic Con, and I want to bring up John Cena because I asked him about John Cena. I have only a bit of time in these interviews that I do at Comic Con to like ask my own questions, and I've met worked with Kurt for years, and I had Jake the Snake on the stage as well. But I wanted to ask him about John Cena because he's who inducted Kurt Angle into the Hall of Fame, and I said, "What are your thoughts on him now?" He was talking about he's great actor, and he's so proud of him, and he thinks John Cena is probably the greatest of all time, modern day era. Which, by the way, to get that rub for Kurt Angle, I was like, Cena must think that's. I mean, that's a huge deal. But he, as you know, John Cena, you can't see. He's on his farewell tour right now, and he's making one of his last Raw appearances in his home state. He's a guy you shared a locker room with personally for a long time. And, he has a really great reputation in wrestling. He's obviously doing really well in Hollywood. But when you see him on this final run in wrestling, his farewell tour, what are your thoughts on his legacy and his impact on professional wrestling?
Okay, this guy lived, breathed, slept wrestling. That's
Mm,
it. The hardest worker. Never thought he was above the business or anything like that.
mm.
Now he's crossing over like The Rock. God bless him. I don't know how long you can do wrestling and keep your body in shape when are doing movies now. You can't do both. Wrestling. If we're on the road 4 days a week and stuff like that to juggle in a movie, and he's amazing. And when he did turn heel, no one could get him. He is just not a heel. All the Make a Wish things he's done, and
You're too good of a guy, Mr. Cena. And like when you meet him, he's stupid nice. Like,
yeah,
so not you. When I saw him last, he was like, Keith Albert. Yeah, he said like, "Congratulations, I know about the God TV podcast," and I'm like, "What?" And he literally shook my hand and goes, "I want to thank you for your contributions to the business." I'm like, "But you're John Cena." Unless he has a really good assistant, he
no,
knows everything about everybody. It's wild. Talk about a student of the game. My gosh.
seriously. And see, everybody should learn from them is to be appreciated. God knows. Again, yeah, you're a main eventer, but they treat everybody the same, just like The Rock did. Remember when I told you first met The Rock backstage, and I go, "Hi, my name is Lisa. I'm Victoria," and he goes, "Oh, you're an OVW. You're getting brought up soon." And I go,
Crazy.
"Yeah, of course I did." Do that face, but I'm like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm excited,
He
I'm really
knew ya.
excited."
He
Right, I
he
get really bad at promos, I wish I can do promos like you, and he goes, "I can do promos at the beginning of my career. It'll get easier." And, I wasn't the queen of promos, but John Cena it reminds me a lot of The Rock, and, he's very respectful. I can't imagine him going out on a night, like, just out to dinner or anything like that without getting mobbed and having that private time and stuff like that, but he's contributed, like, through thick and thin, whatever the company has gone through, he's still loyal as shit, and he was like that with OVW, man. I got there early with Rob Conway and Nick Dinsmore, who was Eugene.
yeah.
He would get there early too, so I was so green in the business, I did not know what I was doing, but we would all grapple, like, teach me, like, "No, that's not how you run the ropes, it should be this many steps. This is how you have your" never bigger than anyone. You know what I mean? And that's what I tell keep on going back, being humble. Being humble is the key to success, I think.
Little slice of that humble pie, just eat it up. Little yeah, that just eat it up. Do you agree with this statement? This is, by the way, my brother-in-law always said this. He was in a big famous band, so he can say this having worked with like U2 and big people. It's not just someone that came up with this. He said a phrase I think rings true in this sense when it comes to Cena, it comes to The Rock. The bigger the star, the nicer they are. Do you agree?
I agree. I agree. And I think also too, a lot of people feel like this is what I get a lot of conventions. The heels are so much nicer in person than the baby faces. And I go, yeah, because we're so like going, that's not really me out there. Please like me. I'm playing a character. You know what I mean? It's just like I go, I want, at our guest appearances, the opportunity for us, for them not to know Victoria or Tara, it's an opportunity to know Lisa. Yeah. Right.
Can I have you say my favorite phrase that you've always cracked me up with, which is when we're we're talking about being nice, but like when wrestlers like they have a bit of an ego and they say, "What is it? No, no enough about me." What is it?
Enough about me. What do you think about me?
I look to see you say look at someone with a straight face.
And I learned this from Rob Conway. I have 2 questions for you. Who's your favorite wrestler and why am I? What?
Rob Conway. Well, just a last follow-up question, and we'll wrap it up. I know you're a busy gal. But speaking of the future, when it kind of again, I appreciate you being here to talk about the current affairs of wrestling. And they
Anything for you, you, Val, and anything for Wrestling News Co.
yeah, and that's the thing. I hope you guys are enjoying this because we mentioned earlier about doing some of these interviews. Like we don't want to be clickbaity people. We're here to be wrestling fans and to have you guys enjoy just to chat. But if we're going to talk about the future of wrestling, right? So Clash in Paris was just recently the last WWE PLE on Peacock. But now there's a new era on ESPN and it begins with Wrestlepalooza. Again, it's coming up very soon. Do you think having your, illustrious career in wrestling, do you think this move to a major sports platform like ESPN, which is huge, do you think it's going to change the way that WWE presents its product?
Is it gonna change? I don't think so, but it's a big, like, honor to be, like, on such a big platform,
Yeah.
but, I'm getting a lot of, a lot I'm friends with a lot of the fans. They're, like, going, "Oh my god, I gotta download this stream," and, myself too, myself included, I'm, like, going, "I might as well get cable, like, I
We
can't."
talked about that because I'm in the UK. You're trying to figure out where to watch. Yeah.
I live in a studio apartment. I'm like, "Oh my god, I gotta get another stream." So I canceled a few other streams so I can download this. Not because I downloaded those apps to watch wrestling, but I don't need them anymore. But, right? Is it gonna change? I think ESPN, basketball, I think we're gonna go back to, like, when we got told in WWE, we're going HD. We're like, "Oh my god, this is my worst nightmare. Oh my god, now they're gonna see every single pore on my
That's
skin."
exactly where my mind would go too.
Right? And then the shoes, you gotta make sure you don't have you stepped on a sticker, like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, all the stuff you had to make it more realistic, so there was more connections on the punches and the clothes, like, it was full on let it l it was snug, very strong style,
Yeah.
safe, but you had to step it up, so I don't know. I think I think it's I think it's gonna be huge, but I think it's gonna take time to get the ESPNers, on board, knowing that wrestling is entertainment, right? Like, kids are, like, going, "Oh," but
Because ESPN is like sports purists, right? So, like, they're gonna have to kinda go, "Wait a minute," and there might be some yeah, good point, Lisa.
you
There
know who I should have on the show to ask this? Coach, Jonathan Coachman.
okay,
I
I like to study him. I love him. I would love to have him on oh, I'll ask him. Oh my god, that'd be great.
Do you have his number?
No.
I
I think we follow each other.
I I love him, and, he worked for ESPN, and
Oh,
so
good.
yes.
Hey, you're welcome, Wrestling News Kill. We got our booker right here.
Hey, only 10%, I'm just kidding.
Mul multi-talented Agent Lisa coming to play.
No, I won't take a percentage. I just feel like there's, like, some of our friends and coworkers and
Because he was both.
yes, he's amazing, and he's the nicest freaking human ever, ever.
He's
You will love him.
Yeah.
You will love him.
He is a good announcer. I always
Love what you will. You will love him more than Triple H.
that's pushing it. You know, my Mount Rushmore is 4 Triple H's with different hairstyles. I will leave you. I'm gonna ask one more question before I go, but I have a serious thing to talk about just quickly, and this is, I'm here to talk about the hard hitting issues. When you talk about HD, there are some wrestlers. We're talking about the skin, and you can see like every pore. There are some wrestlers. I won't name names. Text you later. Where you go, wow, they're looking kind of older, or they're rugged, or whatever. Our friend Roman Reigns on HD. Have you ever watched him in like that 4K HD? He's like a dolphin. He has no pores. It is the most insane. Like other wrestlers, oh, you can see every pore. This man, whatever skincare, like it is.
He's drop dead gorgeous. It's his Samoan skin. They all have freaking beautiful skin.
He's porous.
So, I'm very known to go on other people's whatnots on like wrestling whatnots to learn, like going, ooh, what am I doing different? Like maybe I should add this and stuff like that. I'm very known of buying stuff. I bought this whole stack of Roman Reigns um trading cards because I was in a bidding war, but I got it. Kendall's mom is a huge Roman Reigns fan. So I got it for her as a gift. You saw me at WrestleMania when I was like, you were going for Cody Rhodes, I was going for more Roman Reigns because
Yeah.
that guy, there's not a flaw. There's not a flaw.
But even in 4K HD, it was like they're right up in his like, his T zone. And I was just like this close to screaming, where's this man? It was shocking. He's gorgeous.
And even all of our friends are getting veneers and stuff like that. And I went. I had 4 cavities on one side. I'm going back on Thursday. For I have other cavities on this side, and I don't know what. I don't eat sweets. Well, blame it on the vino, I guess.
That's because you're sweet enough. That's why.
Yes, I'm too sweet. Too sweet. Too sweet. And about what was I talking about just now? About Roman
Roman Reigns' skin and teeth. I don't know how this recap episode went to Roman Reigns, but I'm here for it.
I went to my dentist and I go, I think I need veneers. And he goes, let me fix your teeth. You're not going to need veneers after I fix your teeth. He goes, it's just, yeah. I mean, he's in San Diego. I'll be doing a photo with him. I went to another dentist here, not to go off subject, but I went into a dentist downtown here in San Diego that had a golf little putt thing in his office. And he quoted me $25,000 to do my teeth. $25,000. Okay, that's a nice car that's used or, like semi-used, right? And went to this guy, not even close. Oh my God. I was like,
Wow.
I got scared getting the bill and I go, oh, that's it? And he goes, I'm telling you, you're not going to need veneers after I get done with your teeth. And so, but now like I'm seeing all these people like up close on the HG. And I'm like, maybe I need this. Maybe I need this work. It makes you a little insecure about your look. Like, God forbid us age. God, you know what? I'm embracing it, Val. I'm actually enjoying. Well, no, I'm not enjoying going through menopause, but I'm enjoying like, uh that I don't have to be like that muscular anymore. And I want fans to know that, hey, we can't keep that body type up for the rest of our lives.
Nor should you.
You have to, and also too, this is when we get older, we don't care what the person looks like. It's personality and humor, right?
Unless
And
you like Roman Reigns, which would be fine with me.
yes, he doesn't have to talk. He just stands there, right?
He's like a dolphin. I can't. Well, Lisa, before we let you go,
Do you remember you taking you sent me a picture of me at the Hall of Fame? And
if we have this photo right after overlay it right now,
out with this white in like couple rows in front of me, and you see me going like this, and I'm just staring at him. This is when I think Molly Holly was inducted. I'm not sure. They may not. And I don't remember, but
it is the best photo ever. It's so funny because his just quick story before we go. I told Roman Reigns, I said, listen, I've been in wrestling for at the time, now it's like 24 years. The time I met him was probably like 20 years. Oh, I don't know, whatever. And I said, my mom has never cared about wrestling. She doesn't care when I watch it. But whenever you're on the screen, sir, she stops me and says, who is that handsome movie star man? And you know what that man said? He said, You say hello to your mom for me. I was like, good God.
Aw, and that was my mom. She was like, she goes, "Hey, what number match are you on? We don't wanna watch the whole thing."
Thanks,
Mom.
mom.
Thanks for the support. And she goes, "Dude, that guy, Eric Bischoff, the
Oh,
he is beautiful.
he's dishy. Yeah.
He is
Yeah. He's a beautiful man.
man." And my mom goes, "That," I go, "Oh my god," I go, he's really beautiful in person too." But it's weird, like, this is so, like, superficial, we should not be promoting this, that to judge a wrestler by their looks, but some of them are just off the charts.
Do you think I started watching wrestling for the athleticism? I mean, hello, it was a Jeff Hardy era. Come on. I love it. I love that our recap episode has gone in this direction because now it's just gall with extras. I love it so much.
I know, it is, it's nostalgic.
It is. It is.
But also too, I like how wrestling has changed. Going from that, I'm segueing how every shape, size, and body type looks
Bingo.
are accepted in wrestling. So you don't have to do that.
Especially with the women. I love that.
I did too.
It's like Baskin Robbins. There's flavors for everybody. It's not just like, with all due respect to when I was watching, it was Divas and Big Guy, Juan, everyone that was the same. Yeah, now it's like there's some really, really amazing diversity there. But before we let you go, Lisa, just remind the fans where they can find you, upcoming events. I know you're on Whatnot, Twitch. We'll make sure that we have you back. But like, where can we find you coming up? What are you looking forward to?
Most of my information goes on Instagram, Real Lisa Marie. But I am doing a Twitch on Sunday. I'm playing the video game PlayStation 5 for the first time against Mickey D.
Oh my, we love Mickey D. All the way from Adelaide, Australia, coming in hot. We love him.
It's gonna be 6 a.m. his time and then afternoon my time. So I'm hoping I get a little bit over on him on that. But he's a gamer, okay? So and also too, I have a Whatnot on Monday. My live auction at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do Zoom chats on Tuesday. Not every Tuesday, this Tuesday. But all most of my information is on Instagram and it automatically links up to all my other social media. And a big announcement. I have a new website designed by my friend James Ryder. Um, Diva's Web News. You get it? Web as the spider.
I see what you did there.
Diva's Web News. So check that out. I'm excited about that. I just bonded with Jericho's guy who runs.
Yes, and we love them, and Jericho's, he's so great to report the news, and James is amazing, so looking forward to that. Obviously, the fans that are watching here, if you can't meet Lisa in person, which I hope you do, but if you can't, she's so interactive on social media, very active on Instagram, on Twitch, on Whatnot, so make sure that you keep up with her. Lisa, I wanna say cheers to you, my dear, for being here. Whoop, whoop.
Cheers, cheers.
Cheers to you. Thank you so much, and for everyone tuning in, please make sure that you're following Lisa on social media and you're tuning into more Velvet Ropes episode here on Wrestling News Co. Make sure to like, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Let us know who you'd like to see next step between the Velvet Ropes. I'm SoCal Val, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, everybody.
Wow, SoCal Val.